huge plant unboxing. More coarse gravel. I started making the divider. There's a storm outside, and I have a ton more in this bucket. 3, 2, 1. Here's the brand new 10-gallon divided Betta tank. Hello and welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today is a video that I've been waiting to do for literally forever. I've always wanted to set up a divided Betta tank. And if you watch me set up this green only tank, you would know that I mentioned that once it's done, I'm gonna be setting up a divided Betta tank. I also just want to mention that the video of buying the bettas is gonna be coming soon because the filters I'm putting in here are pre-cycled. Things going in here are pre-cycled. So the tank will be cycled and ready to go once I finish setting it up. So buying bettas is coming soon. Also, comment down below what type of bettas I should get. I'm getting 2 of them, 1 for each side. And eventually I may get some tank mates with them as well. And comment if I should get a male and a female or 2 males. I don't know what to do. If I got a male and female, I could breed them in the future. So without further ado, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, comment down below, smash that like button, and let's take apart this tank. So obviously the first step in this is to take out all the plants and decorations. So I'm just actually gonna flip that over and just put them all in here. Get all the gravel off. Get all the gravel off. It doesn't want to come off. And our little dragon, of course. The fun part is gonna be to get all of these pieces of gravel out so we can get in the new substrate. My plans for this tank are going to be the best one yet. Also, if you like planted tanks, definitely stay tuned because I'm doing a huge plant unboxing for this tank right here in a couple days. This right here is evidence that you should not use colored gravel. Obviously, I've used it for videos in the past, but I shouldn't have. And as you can see, the paint is literally all over this napkin. I was just wiping out the tank, trying to get all these pieces out, and it's literally green. So just imagine what it's doing to your water and your fish and your filtration. While I finish cleaning out the tank, let me throw you to the clips so we can go get all the stuff we need for this tank, because there's a lot. So here you go. Alright, so now I'm getting sand for the tank, and I prefer sand in Betta tanks as opposed to gravel. I'm just gonna use some play sand from Home Depot for now, but I will be probably upgrading it to some sort of like plant substrate because I am gonna have a lot of live plants in this tank. So this stuff right here, although you do have to rinse it really well, this is a pretty good option for sand for your tanks, and it's only $4.60 for a 50-pound bag, which covers a lot of tanks. I'm going into the dollar store now, but if you guys want a step-by-step on how to actually create the divider for the tank, check out my second channel. I know it might not make a lot of sense, but I am gonna get some picture frames because, well, I guess you'll see. I'm also gonna go ahead and grab a black poster board. All right, got a bucket, and I will see you guys back home to set up the tank. It's time for my favorite part. Well, second favorite part. First favorite part is going to get Betta. Second favorite part is setting it up. So let's go ahead and rinse the sand. Also, if you guys are wondering why I'm not filming in the fish room, which I miss so dearly, it's because of my last video if you didn't see. Basically, the problem I'm having in my apartment. Aside from that, I have all this stuff right here, but for right now, we only need the strainer and the bucket. Basically, how it's gonna work, I'm gonna pour some of this into this bucket. I'm gonna take the strainer and just like this, going to shake it around a bunch, and then we're left with all these big pieces that wouldn't be good for a Betta tank. And I'll just pour the big pieces right in here. Hopefully this works, but I'm gonna pour some sand in here. And see all that dust? I gotta clean that all out in the water after I separate it. It's also not good to breathe in. But let me get my strainer and start working through this. So I actually realized after doing that whole bucket method that this would be easier if I held the strainer with one hand and poured it with the other and then just shake it as I pour it. This way here, everything in here is the soft sand. And once this fills up with the thicker pieces, I can pour it right in there. I know I mentioned it, I think earlier in the video, but if you want to see aquarium supplies that you can get at the dollar store, just let me know and I'll try and make a video for you. Now I have all of this more coarse gravel, sand, whatever you want to call it, and I can use it for my aquascape. I can use it for my aquascape when I set up the tank fully. But I'm gonna go ahead and rinse this out because this might be enough sand for the tank. So I'm gonna rinse this, clean it really well, and we'll see what happens. So now the sand is pretty much fully rinsed. I don't know how much more I could really do. And we have the tank right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and start filling it up and see how much more sand we need. Also, that's something a lot of people don't tell you is that sand is actually pretty good for plants, and it makes it a good substrate because you can put a lot of plant nutrients underneath the sand and the plants will get it fairly easily. Honestly, for some reason, seeing this sand in this tank is just really making me want to set up a saltwater tank, which is 100% in my plans. Now, the next step is probably going to be to create the divider, the background, the lid. I mean, we're really doing everything from scratch here. But I just want to say a couple things about divided betta tanks in case you guys want to do one yourself. One of the things that I see often when I see people set these up is that they have to make sure that the divider is almost right up against the lid because, believe it or not, bettas do jump, and you should always have a lid on your tank when you have a betta, but seeing how there's two in one tank and they could potentially see each other through the holes in the divider or whatever, it could make them angry, it could make them want to attack the other, so they may try and jump over the divider. The other thing is also to make sure that at the bottom of the divider that there's enough stuff blocking it and around the sides so that it can't just push through it or dig under it or anything like that. Bettas are very aggressive, especially when you have two males in one tank, which is probably what I'm gonna do. I may do a male and a female and then breed them. I don't know, comments what I should do, if I should get a male and a male or a male and a female. But you really need to make sure that your divider is secure. Also, one more thing to note is, again, bettas need at least 5 gallons. If you have a 10-gallon, you should really only divide it in half because each of them are gonna need a filter. So if you were to divide it into 3 and give them each 3 gallons, it's nowhere near 3 gallons because of the filter and the plants and everything like that. But I think I literally washed the perfect amount of sand. I mean, there's almost nothing left in this bucket and it's pretty much the perfect height. I may do a little bit more because I may want to create some height in the back to give it more of a depth look, but I literally cannot wait to get this huge order of plants in. All right, so the next step is the divider, which I'm gonna make out of this board right here. If you guys wanna make this on your own, this is what it is. It's a plastic curated sheet, and I think this was like $4 or $5, pretty inexpensive, and you can probably make multiple dividers for tanks with this. But what I need to do is get the measurements of the inside of the tank, not where this black piece is, but I need to get it where the glass is so that there isn't any room for any bettas to get through. So I may cut it a little bit larger than it needs to be and then cut it down from there because it's probably easier to do that way. All right, so I started making the divider. As you can see, I started putting the holes in as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and just finish up the holes and then we can start cutting it more accurately to the side. All right, so I finished all the holes in the divider. I try to make them as even as possible. But now the tricky part is how to make this fit in here and how to cut it down so that it fits perfectly. So as you can see, I'm trying to make this fit right now. I made little indentations for where this part is so it can be as snug as possible in here because I don't want any casualties. I'm also moving around the sand because I do want to put it all the way to the bottom and then put the sand up against it to really keep this thing in place. And like I said, make it as snug as possible. Now it's almost there. This thing is pretty annoying because it's kind of tedious work. You can't cut off too much because then you're gonna have a whole gap and then the betta will just swim through or move out of its way. The good thing is I'm gonna have so many plants in here, each betta probably won't even be able to see the other one, but I did figure out the divider. I have it right dead smack in the middle. It's off by like a tiny bit, but I had to really fit it in here because I wanted it as snug as possible. And originally with my design, I was gonna put suction cups on either side of it to really keep it in place, but I think I'm only gonna use 2 instead of like multiple packs of these. I mean, this thing is like very, very sturdy, like it's not going anywhere. So we took apart the green tank, we have the sand in, we have the divider in. Obviously I need to touch it up just a little bit. Now it is time to put the background on the tank. So I need this. Well, now the background is on the tank, but I think adding the background made it 10 times better. I may not keep it just because I'm not used to having backgrounds on my tanks, and it also creates like a double glare. Since the last steps are to fill up the tank and put the filter in it, I'm trying to figure out where I want it to go in the room. So I put it over here. I'm trying to get rid of this reflection. So goodbye, background. It was great to have you for a moment, but it's no longer needed. So I think I am gonna leave the tank here. It's time to fill up the tank. Let me go grab a bucket and whatever other containers I can find to go ahead and fill this thing up. Well, it's taken me 3 days to set up the tank, but here we go. It is time to fill up the tank and the filter. So I'm gonna have to cut filming short today. There's a storm outside that like pretty much just finished, and so it's just making it so much darker in here, unfortunately. I finished filling up the tank. Now I left just a little bit of water just so that when I'm putting in the plants, it's not like so much water that's splashing everywhere. But now it is time to put in the filter. This is a filter from another tank that is pre-cycled. Been running for about 2 months, so plenty of beneficial bacteria is built up on here, and I will be putting a second one in this tank as well. Like I said, they need one on each side, and this pump right here is also good for 5 to 10 gallons. This is a 10-gallon tank. I will be getting a splitter and splitting up the air from this one pump to go to both filters, but you'll see that in a future video. All right, I'm trying to do this one-handed, but here is the filter. I changed out the tube, and now I'm just gonna slide it, and I think I'm gonna put the first Betta on this side. I don't know when I'll be getting the second filter, so I'm just gonna put it on the side that I think I want the first Betta on. And now to plug the filter in to our tank. 3, 2, 1. And it works. Well, finally, we're at the last day of filming this video, and here's just a little sneak peek of some plants in the tank. I haven't gotten to set them up yet. I just had to put them in there because I'm filming the actual plant setup video today. But I need to take the plants out and make the other lid for the other side of the tank. But my initial plan for the lid of this tank was going to be these picture frames, which you can kind of see. This is the glass part of it. So it didn't end up working exactly how I wanted to, and I don't have a knife or anything like that to cut the glass. So for right now, I am going to just take this out and put the glass on there. And you can get these picture frames at the dollar store, and with the correct tools you can cut it to size. But I'm not sure what kind of lights I want to use and how I want to set it up over the tank. If you have any ideas, comment down below. But let me go ahead and open this up and get this on top. All you do is open up these little flaps here, and then once you do, you just take this backing off, and then you have another piece of glass. But this way it just looks like this, and there isn't like some chunky lid on top. And then when I put the light on top of all this, it'll look even better. All right, well, I threw some plants in there just for the thumbnail, but there's a ton more plants coming in tomorrow's video. But I'm really excited to get this thing going. Even with just these few plants in here for the thumbnail, it looks great. And I have a ton more in this bucket that I don't want to show you. But comment down below what bettas I should get for this tank. They're gonna be heavily planted. I kind of want to have like some friends in each of them as well, like a snail and a shrimp or something like that in each of their tanks. So let me know what bettas I should get. Should I get like a koi? Should I get a dragon scale? I don't even know. The options are pretty much endless. And should I get a male and female? Because I have wanted to breed bettas for a long time. I've seen a lot of your comments asking me to do so, and it is something I want to do. Maybe I'll do it this time, or maybe I'll do a divided betta tank up here with 2 males, and on the bottom shelf, maybe I'll put another 10-gallon and put 2 females. I don't know. It's just a bunch of ideas. But this thing is looking so great, and these lids, again, both from the dollar store, and this board here came from a craft store for about $4. So bettas will be coming soon in this tank, and I literally cannot wait. Until then, I'm gonna keep setting up the tank, doing the aquascapes, getting all the plants, all of that, so that when I put these bettas in here, it's just gonna be mind-blowing. Like, it's just gonna look so good. So thank you everyone for watching. I'm so excited to finally set up a tank. This is the first tank I've set up in my apartment, and although it's in my bedroom and not in the fish room because of everything going on with the apartment, it's just really exciting to finally get back in the swing of it. So hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that like button, comment down below, hit that subscribe button. We can hit 100,000 in the year of 2021 and get that plaque. Probably put it right above this tank. No, I'm kidding. I don't know where I'm gonna put it if I reach it. But make sure to do all those things. Comment down below what bettas I should get. And other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video in a couple days with all of these plants. So, bye.